Good now. Welcome, fellow Silver Creek Raiders, to the first episode of the Raider Review Recast. I am your host. Recently, I was bored writing news article after news article, and I thought, how can I make things more interesting while impacting my school? And then it hit me. I found this channel not too long ago and decided, after 3 years, I think it deserves some love, which is exactly what I am doing. And so that is with collaboration with my peers and Miss Nure, we have created the retrospect of 2023 to be our first episode. So sit back, relax, and please enjoy the first of the Raider Review recast. It is only fitting to start this off by starting in January. So that's what I'm going to do. In January of 2023, six scientists between both Australia and Britain decided to try an experiment. That experiment being eating a bunch of Lego heads. So, after consuming the Lego pieces, they posted their results, which is this. According to them, it took an average of 1.71 days for the Legos to pass through their system, which they hilariously named the fart score. According to the scientists, the fart score actually stands for found and retrieval time. So you know what? Good on them for such a play on words. Anyways, after that, let's move on to February. For February, scientists found out that people still wearing face masks after the pandemic usually shows a lack of self-confidence. What this means is that, statistically, people still wearing face masks are not very comfortable with how they look. Another story we have in February was the Chinese spy balloon. Anyone remember that? Apparently, that balloon went over quite a few military bases, and it took a while for the US government to decide to shoot it out. China responded by saying that it was just an average weather balloon and that America was just overreacting. For an interesting story from March, apparently a wild cat, known as a serval, in Cincinnati was found with cocaine in its system. Police found it was highly agitated and highly upset, and after pinning the serval down and testing on it, yes, it indeed had cocaine in its system. Whether it was intentional or not is unknown, but don't worry, the cat's fine. Unfortunately, what is not fine is that cockroaches are adapting. Scientists this time have found out that cockroaches have tweaked their mating rituals to adapt to pest control. The ability for these insects to survive and adapt to every condition possible is rather fascinating, but it is quite annoying. Although, if you really want to protect yourself from cockroaches, get a cat, like me. Want to know what other things scientists found out this month? Mammoth meatballs. Like extinct mammoth meatballs. As in woolly mammoth meatballs. Yeah, you get the idea. I don't know why scientists are doing stuff like this, but what Jurassic Park has taught me is that you shouldn't really mess around with prehistoric things. That's a bad idea. Okay, April. So, if you haven't noticed by now, I'm refusing to use photos that aren't mine because I'm terrified of copyright. So this next story involves a $120,000 banana art piece that was eaten by a security guard because he was rather peckish that day. So originally, I was gonna show myself taping a banana to a wall and eating it, but that's actually harder to do when your camera is a phone. So here's this stock free image of a guy eating a banana. I can use that. Yeah. Fun fact, in New York, there is a rat czar. I could explain it, but I think it's funnier if you leave it to the imagination. So here's this little drawing of a rat czar I made. Moving on to May. In New Jersey, 500 pounds of pasta have been dumped by the riverbank. Nobody knows why, but neighbors tell the story behind it. It was a man who was cleaning out his mother's house. Another little side tangent. For May, recently, a mountain named Swastika Mountain has been renamed to Mount Halo, which, you know what, is a good thing. Anyways, moving on to June. Yeah, I spent an hour searching online for an interesting story to tell for June, and the best I could find was an ugly dog competition. And if you were wondering, the winner is a 7-year-old dog named Scooter. So everyone, congratulate Scooter. Now with things are more interesting. July. In July, almost August, the people from the Barbie movie and the Oppenheimer movie decided to release their films on the same day. leading to funny situations where someone may watch the sad, somber Oppenheimer movie, and then the next hour they decide to watch the happy, upbeat Barbie movie. It was certainly a fun event with a bunch of memes, and I think even a school event happening on campus about that recently. Here's quite the interesting story for August. This August, people decided that they want to try to find Nessie the Loch Ness Monster again. So, from what I know, there are four camps. First camp is that people think it's a giant eel. Some say it's a piece of wood, and other people think that it's just, that. But for the people that think it's real, you know what? You do you. I'd be happy if it was real, but for now, I'm in the third camp. So I was looking over my outline for August, and one of the topics I put was Hank the Tank. I don't remember the context behind it, but I don't want to Google it up because it sounds so funny like that. September. For September, we have personally my favorite story, aliens. This September, the Mexican government basically went and told that they had some aliens, and then presented these things. I can't show the actual image because I'm worried about it being copyrighted, so here's my artist rendition of it. What's even funnier is that people are looking at this and taking it seriously. October. The only thing I have for October was spider claw machines. Now that I think about it, why are scientists doing all these shady things? First the Lego eating, then the mammoth meatballs. Now this? I'm starting to think scientists are just children with a degree. So, it's quite literally what it means. Scientists thinking that, hey, let's use these dead spider corpses and use them to pick stuff up. And you want to know their reason for doing so? It's because they believe that they are biodegradable and natural. November. I wrote this in like the start of November, so the only interesting thing I have to say is the golden toilet was stolen. It was an 18-karat golden toilet and it was stolen by four men. What else do you want me to say about that? It's a golden toilet that was stolen. Well, there you have it. This concludes the first episode of the Raider Review recast. If I don't feel burned out, I might want to make another. Despite the hardship it came with recording this was actually fun to make. So, if you find another episode soon, expect this to be a serialized thing. Anyways, I'm your host, and I hope to see you again.